driving the 2011 E350 4matic up to the mountains with the sunroof open. Right now it's got 198,222 miles. I have that off. It actually does work, but I have to turn it off because it'll grab the Bluetooth on the phone and you wouldn't be able to hear me talking. The car is pretty much still very rattle-free despite the high miles. I think just there's some stuff that's rattling. I've got like a change and random stuff in the center there that's making noise. I don't think there really are any other like car parts that are rattling. Remarkably, the car handles extremely well. I mean, it doesn't feel like there's any suspension wear of any kind in this car. It seems like this car is built to the same standard that they used to build the Mercedes-Benzes back like in the 70s and 80s, when they were built to a standard and not to a price. And then like especially in the early 2000s and maybe late 90s, I think they were just built to a price, or you know, maybe just built the cheapest way that they could possibly build them. And I've had a few from all of those eras, and so I can definitely say that's the way they are. But this one actually was really surprising to me the first time I drove it, in how good the quality is. I bought this car with 173,800 miles on it. When I first got it, there was a little bit of a vibration in the torque converter that was fixed by simply changing the transmission fluid. I believe it had been done once at 40,000 miles, and then I don't think it was ever done after that. And other than that, I really have not had any issues, other than like a light going out, a headlight and a parking light went out, and so, you know, nearly 25,000 miles, it's been trouble-free. And the only sign of anything that is going to need replaced, and I don't really consider it a problem. I mean, I've had to do brakes and tires and stuff like that. That's all maintenance. And the TPMS sensors are just starting to reach the end of their life. They're starting to give signs of that. And got somebody coming the other way. I guess they're letting me go. This is a pretty narrow road here. It's not really designed for two cars. And then there comes another one. Oh, that's an old Volkswagen. Kind of an interesting car to bring up here. I think they're stopping to let me go as well. So we'll wave to them to thank them. Continue on up the hill. And this is the road that's been in several of my older videos. The road's Dolly Sods. If you haven't seen it and you can get to West Virginia, I highly recommend it. It's an amazing place. The energy up at the top of this hill, where it's called Bear Rocks, but all of Dolly Sods, it's a pretty big area, but Bear Rocks in particular is where I'm going. It's amazing. Highly recommended it to anybody, as is this car. 2011 is the first year for the 7G-tronic Plus transmission, and I think it's a brilliant transmission. It takes the blue fluid as opposed to the 7G-tronic that stopped in the 2010 E-Class, which takes the red fluid. And you can tell when you change the fluid, the newer one has a green or blue overflow pipe. I want to say green overflow pipe. And it's apparently a very durable transmission. It's on the original transmission, and it still shifts pretty much the way it did new. They can, you know, occasionally have a little bit of a harsh shift or whatever, but they've done that when they were new. I've driven these when they were new, and some of the reviewers reviewing these kinds of cars will also say things like that. But anyway, so that's all I have to say for now about this car. Amazing car. And I bought this one late last year for $8,000, and it was a lot of highway miles that the prior owner had driven, and he said that he only had to replace a light bulb and just regular maintenance. So his experience from, I believe, 66,000 up to 173 was as mine has been following that. So amazingly reliable car that I pretty much know the whole history on. His father-in-law was the original owner of the car who bought it new. So anyway, those are my daily thoughts.